Once students have signed up for summer classes, administrators can view this information in Campus, and they can run reports such as the Classless Report, the number of students per class, any finance related reports such as revenue per class, and so forth. So in this section, I'll cover how to look up data in Campus once the summer registrations are in, and how to run certain reports. So when I go to scheduling, I see that students have a status of enrolled and substatus of active, and some students have a status of enrolled and substatus of summer in progress. Enrolled active in my setup means that they have already completed their application and signed up for classes, whereas enrolled summer in progress means that they're in the process of completing the application, meaning that they have not yet signed up for classes. So this can be a quick way to tell how many students have actually completed the summer application and signed up for classes, and how many students are still in the process of signing up for summer classes. Let's find the student that we were working with previously. His name was Robertson. So I search for him, and I can see that his record shows up, and he's marked as enrolled active because I actually had gone and signed him up for classes and paid for them. If I click his name, I can see his information as to his name, his age, his grade level, his family information, their email, phone numbers, and so forth. Moreover, I can see the attributes that were entered, so electronic signature, field trip authorization agreements, the dates, t-shirt size, and so forth. I can also see the classes that he signed up for, so baseball, hard work day camp, and I can see the invoices and the receipts. So they have an invoice of $635, and they have paid $100, so they would have $535 left to pay. Next, I'll go over some reports that administrators can run. There are many there are many options, and you can create customized reports, but I'll cover a few. So if I go to sections, I can pick either one class or I can pick several classes, and I can run a class list report. So if I select A Star is Born and AAA Baseball, I go to Multi-Action PDF Reports. And there are several reports that you can run that are based on classes. So I'll just run one that is used the most by administrators, and it's called the Class List Report. And I'll just click Request Report. It'll say rendering, and then I can click the download button and view the report. So it tells me the name of the class and who I have in my class, and then it tells me the name of my next class, and it tells me other information like the teacher, the section, and the students, and then it totals them up at the bottom. So for this class I have 14 students, 6 males, 8 females, and for this baseball class I have 5 male students. Now if I go to DAT, I have created some summer related reports. I click on summer camp, and I have created a report called Summer Emergency Contacts Report, and if I open it, I can see the list of all my summer students, what their substatus is, and I can see the emergency contact information, their name, their phone number, their relationship, and so forth. And reports like these can be customized, so anything that you ask in your summer portal, you can simply add that to your report, and then if you want to, you can export it out so that you have that data saved that you can refer to. So this report, any sort of DAT report, is a live report, so as soon as you have a new student who signs up, this report will automatically populate. So this report will be an up-to-date report anytime that you run it. Now I'll go back to DAT and I'll go over some other scheduling related reports. So I have the emergency contacts report. The next report I created is called totals by camp. What that does is it gives me the total number of students that have signed up per camp. So a star is born. I have about 23 people signed up. AAA baseball, I have 10 people signed up. So this is a quick report that administrators can run to see how many students have signed up for different classes that they may have. A star is born as an example. I have multiple sections of the class that occur on different weeks and times. But in this report, I've just summed them up in one camp. Now, if I go to DAT, again, the next report I'll run is called totals by period, and open this report. This basically tells me how many people are coming for each different week and time. So I have 12 people coming in week 2 from 9 to 12. And then I have 4 people coming on, or I have 12 people coming on week 2 from 9 to 3. And I have 4 people coming on week 2 from 9 to 3:30. So this kind of a report you can run to see how many students you have coming in on different weeks and times. The next report is where I combine the first 2 reports into one report. So if I run totals by camp and period, I can show you a star is born as an example, because as I previously said, I had multiple sections of a star is born. I can see how many students have signed up for each different section. So for week 1 to 2, 1:30 to 3:30 class, I have 14 people. And week 4 to 5, 1:30 to 3:30 class, I have 9 people. So I have a total of 23 people in this class, which we saw in the first report. But if I were to break it down by the different periods, then it would tell me that I have 14 in the first period and 9 in the second one on this list. Now let's look at some finance related data. So if I go to finance, it will take me to the finance dashboard. And initially I talked about how having a separate ledger will keep everything, all the transactions separated from the main ledger, which is why when I look at customers with the balance widget, I see only families that have a balance in my summer ledger. So I can see, okay, these families still owe us money, so I can run reports, I can email them out and so forth. I can also export this data out to a spreadsheet. Other widgets that we have are called trial balance. I can see each account and what the balance is for each account. I can even change dates to see what the balance was at a certain date and time. Same thing with the balance sheet widget. I can switch days to see what the balance was at what particular day. The aging report tells me, or the aging widget tells me, how many overdue payments that I have, or how many overdue invoices I have in the system, and it tells me how late those invoices are. So there are different widgets that you can add. So this one is 1+ days. You can add 1 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 61+ days, and so forth. And there are many other widgets that you can add to your finance dashboard, and it would give you information specific to this ledger. You can also create DAT reports, and you can add them to this screen so that you don't have to keep going to DAT to view that information, and I'll shortly go over an example of that. So let me go to AR customers. This list tells me all my families that I have in the summer camp that have at least one enrolled student, and it tells me what their balance is. So most of them are 0, because when most families go in my scenario, they paid the full amount right away, and then other families, they paid partial amounts. That's why for some families I see that there is a balance. For other families I see that the balance is 0. I can also view this from the student perspective by going to AR students. I can view each student and see how much balance each student has. And I can also go to ledger chart of accounts, and I can view my accounts that are related to the summer camp, and I can view the balances on those accounts. So I can view the AR balance, I can view the balance for each revenue account and so forth directly from here. I can also create reports that provide me with more information. So for example, if I go to DAT, I've also built some finance related summary reports. So I've created a report called Total Revenue by Account. And if I open this report gives me the name of each account, and it tells me how much revenue was generated per account. Now if I go to DAT again and pull up my summer camp, I can also create total revenue by camp. So the difference would be that, for example, let's say that you have one account that is linked to multiple camps. If you run a report by account, it'll sum those up into each individual account. Whereas if you run it by camp, it'll separate that amount into separate camps. So if I run total revenue by camp, I can see each camp that I have and how much revenue I gained from this camp. So A Star is Born, I'm getting over $5,000. So a report like this could be useful so you can each year determine which camps were the most popular camps, which camps you earned the most revenue from, so that you can maybe offer them in the future. The next thing I'll cover is, for example, let's say that I really like this report and I want to show it in my dashboard. I simply click on Finance, it'll take me to my dashboard, and I add a widget called Data Analytics widget, Data Analytics Grid. I click Add, and then I can select whichever report I would like to add to this profile. So I'm going to go ahead and add the total revenue by camp report. So I just select the report name from here, and it populates the data for me, and then I can just move it wherever I would like to see it. So I can move it up or down, left and right. So here I can see that this report provides me with my camps and how much revenue I have earned. And if I want, I can export this data out. I can also switch to a different report and so forth. So you can add as many reports as you want on this dashboard. So the reports that you use most often, you can add them so you don't have to search for them or look them up every time in the data analytics tool. You also have the option to run PDF reports for balance sheets, for customers with balances, for trial balances, aging reports, and so forth. And if you go to Finance Reports, PDF reports, you'll see a list of the possible finance related reports that you can run. Moreover, you can run a customer statement report or a student statement report. So for example, if I go to AR customers, or I'll actually start from AR students, and I'll pull up our student that we had created earlier on, so Robertson. And I can select my student and go to multi-action PDF reports. And I can run a report called student statement. So I select the report, and then I can put in the begin and end date. So for now, I'll just say 1/1/2017 to 1/1/2018. In the invoice details, if I do customer invoice items, it'll break my invoices into individual classes. If I do customer invoice, it'll group them into one invoice. So I'll break it down for now. I can specify any other parameters that I would like, and then I would click Request Report. Similar to my class list, it'll render and I can download it, and when I open it up, it'll tell me the name of the family, the name of the student, and then here I can see the invoice. So this person signed up for handwork, day camp, AAA baseball, and then the amount that was paid, and then it shows me what the balance is. This report can be provided to parents. Earlier we saw that parents could view the statement from the summer portal. They also could have an option to run a PDF report similar to this from their own portal.